Naysayers, January 4th, 2025. It's going to be hard to remember that. Excuse me while I try to put my glove back on. Can't push the front button on the phone to record with a glove on. Just got to have a glove on standing up here. I clicked the button because it was snowing there for a minute. Thought it was a pretty scene. You can see my sheep out there digging through the snow. So 3 inches of snow. What was that? Thursday night into Friday, and now we got Snowmageddon coming upon us here Sunday and Monday. It's just going to be 1 to 3 inches, they say. I hope so, because we got steers that got to go to the processor Monday, and I don't want to have to deal with snow. But because it's snowing, so this is what we do. Actually, I think checking out the ewes, we need to be doing this all the time. The stockpile grass is a little too rich for their blood, so we need to be unrolling some dry hay, and this is what we call bed and breakfast hay. It's not great. I mean, all of our hay isn't great. We always say that quality hay east of the Mississippi is a joke, but this is the poorer quality of the hay. The sheep are going to pick through it. Thanks, Jasper. Or it wasn't even Jasper. Jump up and get my phone. It's cool and he wants to play. So it would take these sheep 7 days with stockpile grass and hay to eat a bale of hay. There's only 3 days in this strip of grass, but then from here on up, I don't know if you can see that fence, but there's a fence up there on the brow of the hill. From then on, there'll be strip graze from here over top of the hill, and I can walk up there. And they'll be coming back here. So we'll unroll this bale down the hill for the next 3 days, and then we'll put a ring around it and leave it so they can come back to it. And I think going forward, we're going to, now that we've been doing this a while, we're just going to start strip grazing them completely away from a bale and seeing what I see: dirty butts, dirty tails. It's a little too high for a little too rich for their blood. So I'm standing at a fence here. There's another fence there. There's a couple more down over this hill, and our property line is down at the tree line. So we'll just strip graze them over here. Part of this is protection for us too. They'll come up here and bed at night, stay away from the wood line. Dogs won't have to work as hard. So that's what we're doing. We didn't feed hay with them right away because there was just no good way to do it. But now that where we're at, it's a good. Sometimes plans fall together pretty well. We finally get snow, and this is the time when we need to be feeding a little bit of hay. Although you can stand here and watch them, they aren't eating any of the hay. But just a little bit of dry hay with that wet stockpile grass ain't gonna hurt nobody. And the dogs sort of like it; they can lay on it. They have access to out of the wind, and they don't use it. They'll just lay in that hay. So that's another big topic I've seen here lately. You know, it's snowing, and people say, "Oh, you got to bring your pets in." Listen, if I brought those 2 dogs in, 3 dogs here, and gave them the opportunity to stay in or go out, they'd go back out. Gave them a dog box, they'd lay on the outside of the dog box. They are made to be out here. They're not made to be inside. This is the weather they love. This is the weather they want to be in. So we just let them. I mean, and you know, our first couple of years, we gave them access to the dog box and shade and shelter, and they don't need it. They don't want it. They're not going to use it. It's just not worth it. So they're just out here. We really started feeding hay when it snowed, when the sheep are up by the road, because we don't want the Humane Society showing up saying we're not feeding our animals. But it makes us feel better. We're really not doing anything here, but if nothing else, we're giving them a little bit of dry hay to help balance out the wet in their system, and that's okay. You know, 1 bale every 7 days ain't gonna hurt me. And when we go on the other side here and strip away, I expect it to be 2 weeks probably, and we'll use a bale, and at least we know they got enough hay in there to balance themselves out. So those are the highlights from today. I guess I was told the other day that, you know, we got a good message. We just got to keep using it. As I was up here though, here it is. It's about 27 degrees. The wind's blowing. We were up north this morning picking up meat, and they said the wind chill at times is -2. I'm in Carhartt coat, leather gloves, a hat, the hood. My face is cold, the rest of me is warm as can be, and I don't have a spot of mud on me. Now, I realize the ground's froze right now, but if we had cattle out or these sheep out in the sacrifice area, there'd be mud, it'd be greasy. I may have some sheep manure on me, but I don't have any mud on me. And I don't know why people poo-poo this. The thing is, you got to have the right stocking rate to be able to have this kind of grass. And I mean, we're coming out of a drought, and here I am talking about stocking rate, but you got to have the right stocking rate. And we talk so much about, we have 25 mama cows here at this farm. We have these 40 ewes, plus our grass finished steers, plus. We could have, and we did. At one time, we had 50 cows. And we could probably have 50 ewes. And we'd have to feed hay from November 1st to May 1st every year. And some people would say, I mean, the dumb math here is, well, you had 50 cows. I mean, you think about all the extra money you're making. Yeah, except for I got all that extra money wrapped up in hay. I got 25 cows grazing almost all the time. If we're not, we're grazing set stock bales, bale grazing. And we're selling grass finished steers, 25 head of them. I don't have to really tell you the math there to tell you how much more money I'm making with those 25 cows and these 40 ewes than I would if I had 50 cows and 50 ewes. And then I also don't have the sacrifice area. I don't have the mud. I don't have the hay equipment. I don't have the feed. I mean, we got the full line of hay equipment, and we can do all those things. We just don't because we don't have to. And I'm not saying we don't always. I mean, we have to feed hay. We had a drought. We're going to feed a bunch of hay this year, but we're doing it in such a way that we don't have mud, even around the rings. And I don't know why we can't get people on this. Like, why? I'm telling you, if you got to feed hay for 5 months out of the year with no other additional forage, cut your herd in half, write it down, cut it in half. Just do it. Go find the 50% that is junk and get rid of them. And then next year you'll have that much extra forage. You can graze through the winter, and you don't have to worry about hay as much. I mean, you still have to feed some hay. Don't get me wrong, 60 days of hay ain't hurting nobody. But you can live like this. And a pair of Carhartts with the four-wheeler. We brought the tractor up today to put out a bale of hay. That's the first time the tractor has done any animal work in over a month, probably. Dad had to start it this morning to make sure it was going to start because it's been so long since we started it. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't take rocket science to figure this out, to figure out the economics of we can do this in such a way to do this every single year, even on a drought year, and come out here and graze through the winter and not mess with hay, not worry about hay quality as much. I mean, look at me, here I am feeding hay, junk hay, because the quality of my stockpile is so good it's running through the sheep too fast. Who would ever thought about that in the wintertime? We're feeding dry, dead grass, and yet it's running through the sheep too fast. So, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm talking anybody into anything. I know selling 50% of your cows is a hard pill to swallow. Cows are selling for what, $2,000, $3,000 right now? I mean, that pays for a whole lot of crap. Go find the 50% that's skinny, that aren't bred, that you don't need, and just pull the plug. I mean, we did this with the ewes this year. It hurt. We sold every single lamb, every single one. We have 2 ewe lambs, and those are the ones that Rachel and Ethan showed. Other than that, the rest of them all went down the road because we needed to make room for all this. And we do it with a sow herd quite a bit. We're getting ready for a purge with the sow herd. Over 50% of them will probably leave this spring, this summer. Because it's just time to roll over and make something better and do something just a little bit different. We're not going out of business. We're just doing something a little bit different. And there ain't no better way to deal with a winter than this, other than maybe ship them to Florida or Mississippi or somewhere, or just ship them all in general and only have animals in the summer. I mean, that'd be fun, just not do anything, but I couldn't live like that. So I look to the folks in the South and I think, boy, that'd be nice, you grow something year round. And then I think, I like the variation. I like the getting ready for winter and going through winter. What I don't like is spending all year putting in hay to then feed it all winter, to then start doing it all over again in May or June. I mean, my system just works. It works inherently on itself. We don't have to really prepare like that. I mean, we got a plan and all, but you know, I'm not spending every single sunshiny day making hay to spend every single day in the winter feeding hay. It sounds like a prison sentence to me after doing what we've done for all these years. So with that, I'll say we'll see you next time.